What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review of Ambitions, Season 1, Episode 9. Now, I don't know if we're only going to have 10 episodes, because if we're only going to have 10 episodes, and that means next week is the finale, and it's still a whole lot of stuff out there. So, I don't know um, if there are more episodes or not, but if next week is the finale, then y'all did a good job of leaving people wanting more, because there's no way they can wrap up all of this in one episode. At least not do it well. Let me put that out there. So we start this episode off with Rondell dealing with the aftermath of her petition basically blowing up. Hamilton is there, her dad is there. Rondell, and they're like, look, we'll do what we have to do. We'll go door to door. We're going to get these signatures. And she was like, look, it's just not enough time. Like, it took me months to get those signatures. And he said, they're trying to make her feel better, baby. You had no way of knowing that these people didn't live in the area, like all of that. But Rondell was like, this is Peter's. Like, I know he's behind it. Either him or Stephanie. Hamilton going to say, I mean, it's more likely that your brother did it because he can actually order audits. They can't audit. Baby, Senior was like, what you not gonna do? He was like, look, I done held my tongue because for whatever reason my daughter likes you. But what you not gonna do is be sitting in my place of business and talking about my son. Like, you ain't gonna do it. So, you keep it to yourself. And he apologized and everything, but he's still convinced that it's Hamilton. But Rondell was like, look, I just need some time. I need some time to just kind of wallow in it. Okay. That's what I need to do. Then we have Purefoy's daughter. She's hosting an event at the Purefoy, like a little social networking type event. Probably like what they used to call it, was it First Fridays we used to go to back in the day. I'm sure they still do First Fridays. I just don't go like I used to. Where you network and all that kind of stuff and do happy hour, whatever. And a couple kind of approach her, right? And basically hit her with the what's up? You trying to go in the back and let's go. And at first she kind of hesitates, but then she ends up joining them and they end up having a nice little threesome, honey. We'll get to that later. Um, Titus. Titus goes to work. He looking for Daddy Purefoy. Daughter Purefoy is in Daddy's office giving him the blues, honey, telling him, I knew it was a mistake to hire you. You running around here beating people up. What kind of I can't get it out, y'all. What kind of person are you? I couldn't get the you get stuck. Neanderthal. That's the word I was trying to get out. And he said, well, look, do your job. You're the head of PR. When they call, you just tell them that I'm innocent and y'all have my back. She was like, my job is to protect the company, not you. And why would I do that anyway? I don't know. Why did you beat that man? And she kept saying, why did you beat that man up? Why did you beat him up? He was like, look, I'm only going to say this one time. I did not beat that man up. Okay. Um, Something else he said that I was gonna say. Oh, she said, yeah, I bet you're worried that daddy's gonna kick that morality clause in and fire you, which he is worried about. But I'm sure she doesn't have the authority to fire him. She can strongly suggest it. But see, Daddy Purefoy is setting him up. So he ain't going nowhere. Daddy Purefoy is setting him up. Because remember how they got that judge that wanted to be paid off and miraculously they got the right judge, right? So Daddy Purefoy got a whole nother set of plans for Mr. Titus. So then she said, that guy works for the state's attorney's office, right? Well, no, they don't work for the state, they work for federal. She said, I know where your wife works. So you see that she's sort of making a little connection there. She don't quite have it, but she kind of have it. So then we see Bella go down to the diner with Joaquin. Ain't that his name? Joaquin. Ain't that the baby name? That's gonna be the baby name this episode. And ask her mama to babysit. Senior is giving these looks, right? Senior kind of giving a side eye for some reason. I don't know. Something clicked with Senior. Because he done seen the baby a million times, but I don't know if it's something as the baby's getting older or something in his mannerism or something like that. But Bella needs her mother to babysit for her because she was like that the people that she's trying to get this job with asked her to do some last minute stuff and she got to get it done. She's trying to get this contract. Mama agrees to watch the baby. So down to the DOJ. Amara shows up for work. Damon is there looking all beat up and looking all helpless, looking like a victim. Of course, the whole office is whispering about her husband beating him up. And he is crazy. Like, he's just crazy. And he's talking to her about it. And she was like, look, you know good and damn well my husband did not beat you up. And he was like, when are you going to realize that your husband is just a Neanderthal? That's my word of the day, I guess. Just a Neanderthal. And how you gonna, take your son, your husband's word over mine? He was like, you're gonna have to choose. She was like, I choose my husband. Like, he's really thinking, like, he's really acting like they're still having this affair and she still has a divided loyalty between her husband or him. Like, she's not with you anymore. At the same time, Stephanie sends him a text. And her text is like, what the hell did you do? Because she got the alert on her phone about Titus being arrested. Oh, because it done hit the news, y'all. His mugshot is all in the news now. So she was just like, he was just like, well, your husband is going to have to make a decision. It was crazy. But this dude is crazy. Like, Damon it's not even no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Damon ass is crazy, y'all. So back down to Thelma's place, Senior is getting ready to propose to his girlfriend. And of course, y'all know Rondell is already in her feelings about the signatures. She's like, really? It's the anniversary, because they having this big dinner for the anniversary of Thelma's place, which of course Thelma's place is named after their mom. Their mom started the restaurant. She was like, so this what you're gonna do? You're gonna ask to marry her, on the anniversary of Mama's death? Like, that's really that's really what we doing now. And so she in her feelings. Later on in the episode, her brother lets her know, like, look, Daddy waited 35 years. Like, I think we good. Mama good. Like, it ain't like we just buried her last year. She been gone for 35 years, Rondell. Let that man be happy. And I agree. I think it's always hard for children. I know it will be hard for me. God forbid. It will be hard for me. I know it was hard. It's hard. But 35 years, Rondell, I'm gonna need you to let that go. So Mayor Evans then got to Bella's mom and hit her with the guilt trip about not being able to see his son, and Bella's keeping him away from his son. And so they done hooked up this little rendezvous, because remember, she watching the baby for Bella. And she's telling him, she's like, look, I only did this because I know what it was like for my daughter to grow up without her father in her life. But please don't get it twisted. Like, y'all really need to figure something out for the sake of Joaquin. Bella walks up in there, and of course, Bella is like, well, what the hell is going on here? The man was like, look, I've been wanting to see my son. I told you I needed to see my son. And she looking at her mama like, mama, for real? Like, this what you doing? You knew I didn't want him seeing his son. And this how you gonna do it? Okay, cool. So she tells her mama to get out. And she hit her with the goodbye, mama. Y'all know what that means. When somebody hit you with the serious goodbye, they real about that. But the mayor lets her know, like, look, you're not gonna keep me from my son. And the mayor and the mama had sort of had a little conversation before Bella came home, and he was like, look, she has to take part in, because basically the mama was coming at him like he was this horrible man who got her daughter pregnant and won't take care of, won't take responsibility. And he was like, look, good daggone well, like, that ain't nothing happening out of this. Like, it is what it is. This is where we are. He was like, but you ain't gonna act like Bella was no innocent in all this. Like, she gonna have to take responsibility for her part in this too. And she was like, okay. She said, but at the end of the day, that's still my daughter. So yeah, I'm gonna always look at you first before I look at my child. Baby, let me tell y'all something about Stephanie. Stephanie is a whole bitch. But I love her style sometimes. And this was one of those scenes where I loved her style. So she rolls up on Damon. She's like, look, ain't nobody tell you to go rogue. I told you that you are here to get Amara hemmed up. You ain't no, you here to what is he there for? Shit. I forgot. Because he was like, oh, I'm not really here to throw Titus off his game, because if I was here to throw Titus off his game, you'd be happy about him in the paper, because that ain't nothing but an advantage for you. You really are still in love with him, and you here to blow his marriage up, because that's what Stephanie was like. She was like, did you get some dirt on Amara yet? What's going on with Amara? And he was like, she said, ain't nobody tell you to go rogue. Nobody told you. She said, you're going to drop those charges. You're going to make those charges go away. And he was like, how am I going to do that? I said the man did it. She was like, I don't care how you do it. But either you going to drop these charges and make those charges go away, or I'm going to let them know all your dirty little secrets. So he starts choking her. He was like, what's going to stop me from snapping your little neck right now? And see, this is where he made the mistake because he didn't actually snap her neck. He going to push her down, act like, and I was like, is he getting ready to rape her or something? Like he was getting ready to climb on top of her. Baby, she pulled that gun out. You know, the gun that she had to her husband's head in episode 1, that gun. And she let him know real quick, what you gonna do is never put your hands on me again. And you gonna do what I told you to do. I don't care how it gets done. Capiche? And rolled out. So of course Damon, and he really pissed off now because Damon ain't one of them people that like a man telling him anything. I mean, excuse me, like a woman telling him anything. Well, a man neither. We gonna get to that. Telling him anything. So he really pissed off now because I think at the end of the day, he probably thought he had some upper hand, and he realized that he really don't have no upper hand when it comes to Damon. I mean, comes to Miss Stephanie. So now back down to the DOJ. The IT guy goes into Amara's office, and he's a gay guy, and they're joking about pride and stuff like that. I bring that up because it's important. Um, and he was like, yeah, he said, I've been noticing how often you've been logging in. You really burning the midnight oil. And she was like, what? He said, yeah. He said, I see you logging in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, you really doing that. You really dedicated to your job. She was like, well, sometimes, because he was like, that is you, right? And she's like, of course it's me. She said, but I'm just really getting, I'm really doing too much. I gotta really slow it down or whatever. So as soon as he leaves, she logs into her computer and realizes that somebody been on her computer. And of course it can't be anybody but Titus. She's like, damn it, Titus, what are you doing? So she ends up confronting Titus. And Titus was like, look, because he ain't lie about it or nothing. He was like, look, she said, you could get me fired for this. Like, these are confidential files that you could get me in trouble. She was like, look, I ain't trying to get nobody fired. I'm just trying to get some dirt on Damon. It's up to me to get his ass out of town. She said, you have really been different. Like, what has been going on with you? He was like, it's ever since Damon got to town, I got to get his ass out of here. He was like, he's dirty and I know it. And I know he's up to no good. And I got to get rid of him however it's going to take. Amara is pissed off. But of course, what's happening? Damon's watching it from his little closed circuit cameras at his house, right? Or his hotel. Look like he's staying there like one of them like extended stays or something like that. But here's the twist. So, every episode give you something you ain't see coming, because I ain't see this coming. We see him sitting there drinking his little beer. That's the other thing. Every time they show him, he's drinking. And I don't know if that's done on purpose, like to give us something, or it's just happenstance. But anyway, um, then we see him like look like I thought maybe in that little fake beating was a real beating, but I thought maybe he was getting like maybe ruptured a rib or something, and he was getting sick because his face started scrunching up, and he leaned his head back, and he was breathing all hard, getting head by the IT guy. He didn't set Amara up. He sent the IT guy in there to bring up the whole, because remember, he knows Titus is using her computer because he's watching Titus do it. So that was his way of letting Amara know that what Titus is doing. So he just sleep with everybody. He was having 3, 4 affairs. Now he's sleeping. And the guy went to go kiss him. And he was like, no kissing. He was like, oh, you one of them. He pushed his head back down, baby. Damon crazy as hell. Like, Damon is crazy. Certifiable. So Mayor Evans goes to talk to Rondell, and that's when they had the conversation about Senior proposing to his girlfriend. But he also had the conversation with Rondell about making a deal with Stephanie. They came up with this plan between Peters and Stephanie that basically they're going to keep Thelma's place there. They're going to make Thelma's place like the cornerstone of this new development. They'll be able to be a brand new restaurant. They're going to give them a 99-year lease. They're going to buy all the other tenants out that had been holding out that were working with Rondell and had turned the money down. They're going to buy them out at over market rate, so everybody will be taken care of. Nobody's going to lose anything in the deal, and they're going to keep their rent reasonable, like a 99-year lease, and keep their rent reasonable. So Senior was like, look, really can't turn that down. Like I mean, and Rondell was like, we just can't trust him. Like this is the devil. We know Peters is up to no good. Like we know that. He was like, yeah, but I mean, it was one thing when you know they were going to take the restaurant. He was like, but this way the restaurant stays. And there's really no, like, I can't justify not taking this deal at this point. He was like, the neighborhood is going to change whether we like it or not. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter. We're prolonging the inevitable, really. But this way we get to save the restaurant. So Rondell, she reluctantly agrees. As soon as they walk out the office, Stephanie gonna tell her secretary, don't include the part about the 99 year clause, and don't include the part about selling out the neighbors at above market rate. Yeah, she talking about something. She don't know how to read. She ain't gonna read no contract anyway. I said, oh, here we go. Well, we knew that. Now, only thing I can do is hope that she gets Hamilton or gets to the lawyer to read over those contracts before she signs them. But I don't know. I don't know. Then Stephanie, back over to the Stephanie's house. Stephanie going to invite Purefoy girl over. And she set her up because she thought it was the text was coming from the daughter. She gets there. Stephanie was like, no, I had my daughter's phone. It was me. She's like, take a seat. We need to talk. She was like, we don't have nothing to talk about. She said, let me get you a drink. Next thing you know, who coming in the door? The guy that she had the threesome with at the beginning of the episode. Stephanie done set her up. Stephanie said, let me tell you something. She said, you're going to break up with my daughter or I'm going to let my daughter know that you cheated on her. She was like, we're not in an exclusive relationship. She was like, yeah, but I'm sure my daughter doesn't feel that way. In my daughter's mind, y'all are exclusive and she'll be pissed off. And she said, so you would break your daughter's heart? Like this is how bad you want me out of your daughter's life? She was like, look, I don't trust you. I know you're up to no good. Yeah, my daughter's gonna hurt for a little while, but in the long run, she'll be all right. Let me tell you something. I ain't mad at Stephanie for this. I don't know if I would have went to this extreme, but she is up to no good. And she is turning her daughter out. And it's not, and like she keeps telling her, it's not about my daughter being gay. I don't care about my daughter being gay. I care about my daughter dating you. I, I believe Stephanie on this one. I don't even think it has nothing to do with her daughter, although I'm sure she's not happy about that. But that's real secondary to getting her daughter away from her. And she tells her, she said, let me tell you something. So she's gonna say, well, it's just my word against yours. Your daughter will never believe you over me. She said she's gonna believe you when she see that videotape. She was like, you taped me? She was like, I tell you what, if you release that tape, I'm gonna sue and da 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 da. She said, whatever. You gonna break up with my daughter, or it's gonna be trouble for you. So she does. She goes and she breaks up with the daughter, but she tells the daughter what her mother did. She doesn't give her no bullshit. She said, look, your mother set this up. I'm gonna go on and let you know I had a threesome. Your mother set it up. She videotaped it, and she's blackmailing me to break up with you. She was like, so look, for real, I don't even need all this smoke, but you need to understand how evil your mother really is. I said, that's right. You better let her know. So she broke up with the girl, but on the way out the door, she exposed Stephanie's little butt. Now, I don't know what it is that Joaquin did or said, but something done set Senior off. Senior done showed up at Bella's house with dinner and wanting to spend time with Joaquin. He knows that's his grandson. I don't know when he figured it out. I don't know how he figured it out, but he knows that's his grandson. So they just spending some time together. And of course, Bella ain't, because they all grew up together. They're all friends, whatever. And so, I don't think that she's thinking he's there for any nefarious reason other than he came to bring her some dinner, knows she's been working hard, knows she had a fight with her mom, that kind of thing. But he ends up playing with Joaquin. And like I said, I think it's more to this story. I don't know what Joaquin did, but something he did that set Senior off, that let Senior know that that's his grandson. So we're gonna get to that. Like I said, there's no way they can tie all of this up in one more episode. It's too many loose ends. Anyway, finally we get to the anniversary dinner down to Thelma's place, right? Now Stephanie decides that she's gonna show up, and of course her husband is like, since when you showing up to family function? She was like, oh, I just feel like celebrating. He was like, mm-hmm. Hamilton is there, and of course Hamilton and Evans go at it, you know, back and forth about, what you doing here, or your family wants me to be here, and of course him and Rondell all booed up, and Senior is there with he got his engagement ring, and girlfriend is there, and everybody knows he's getting ready to propose to Bella's mom is there. Yeah. So everybody knows he's getting ready to propose to his girlfriend. So they're trying to, give him his moment or whatever. And somebody walks in and hands Stephanie some paperwork, basically saying these need to be signed tonight. These need to be signed tonight. Um, yeah. And Stephanie's like, okay, no problem, we'll get it done. Now remember, Stephanie knows that this deal is bigger than Peter's. Stephanie knows that it's the Daddy Peters, and it's gonna be some serious repercussions if these contracts don't get signed. So whatever was that guy was like, they need to be signed tonight, or the deal is going to expire. So her husband told her, Evans was like, look, not tonight. My father's getting ready to propose to his girlfriend. You're not doing this tonight. She was like, it has to be done. The deal has to be done. He was like, look, you are not going to ruin this night for my family. Like, no, because Rondell and Senior have not told the neighborhood that they took this deal and that they sold out. Because even though, as far as they're concerned, the neighborhood is going to be taken care of, like the people who didn't sell out are going to get their money, she hasn't sat down and talked to them and told them, look, we took this deal. Y'all are going to be taken care of financially. We appreciate everything you've done for us and everything you did to try to help save the neighborhood. But, once the petition blew up, it was just really nothing I could do. So it was really, so Evans knows that the neighborhood doesn't really know what's going on. He also knows his dad. So on the other side, his dad is trying to propose to the girlfriend who also has the business in the neighborhood, right? She had a daycare in the neighborhood. And he's like, I don't want you to feel like you gotta live in my wife's shadow. She was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I do. He was like, no, you have your own place in my heart. Like he trying to give his whole little heartfelt. So then Stephanie says, well, look, can we talk? And tries to pull Rondell to the side. Rondell was like, they go over to the side, and Rondell is like, Stephanie, I'm not signing no contracts tonight. Tonight is all about my dinner party. It's about celebrating my mom. It's about what my dad is getting ready to do. We can take care of this in the morning. But Stephanie is like, no, we have to do it tonight. Because again, she knows there's a sense of urgency on this deal. Like, all hell gonna break loose if this deal doesn't get done. Baby girl ain't speaking to mama. Stephanie is like, okay, why she mad at me now? So next thing you know, Rondell gonna get loud. Rondell and Stephanie end up getting loud. And the rest of the dinner party ends up hearing about this contract. What contract? What y'all talking about? So slowly but surely they figure out, Rondell told them, look, we agreed to, take this deal, but y'all are gonna be taken care of. So of course everybody's pissed off. Hamilton is pissed off because she didn't tell Hamilton. Plus he's been trying to help her save the neighborhood, and of course the last thing he wanted to see was this construction to come through. And of course he thinks the Evans are corrupt anyway. I mean that Stephanie's family is corrupt anyway. Bella's mom is pissed off because she was like, look, they offered me money months ago and I turned the money down to work with you and you didn't give me the heads up. Senior's girlfriend's pissed off because she was like, what about my daycare? Like, we've been trying to fight. This wasn't always just about Thelma's place. It was about all of us. And you didn't even tell me. So everybody is pissed off at Senior and Rondell. And they all roll out. Then you have baby girl. Stephanie looked like she about to cry. Like, she really is like panicking, look like she about to cry. She was like, Rondell, please just sign the papers, please. And Rondell's like, you really, hell no, no. I'm definitely not signing anything now. Baby girl was like, look at you. You're just evil. She was right about what she said about me. And Stephanie was like, what you talking about? And of course the husband was like, what are you talking about? She told me what you did. She told me how you set her up and for her to break up with me. And she rolls out. Next, Evans rolls out. Next thing you know, Stephanie is sitting in that damn restaurant by herself with them daggone contracts and ain't nobody signed. Baby. And that's kind of how it ended. So, like I said, I don't know how we wrap all of this up in one episode, but we're gonna see what happens. And again, next week might not be the last episode, but it just seems like usually it's 10 episodes with these new shows or whatever. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments, please.